Question 14. Methane burns in oxygen to form carbon dioxide and water. This is a combustion reaction. The energy profile diagram is shown. Which statement about bond breaking and bond forming is correct? So in this reaction, methane reacts with oxygen, specifically 2 moles of oxygen, to form a mole of carbon dioxide gas and 2 moles of water as the products. The bonds in the reactants must break first before new bonds between the atoms can be formed to produce the new products. In bond breaking, there will be an increase in the energy level of the reactants, meaning energy is taken in from the surrounding to the reactants, causing the energy level of the reactants to increase. While in bond formation, energy is released from the substances into the surrounding. Therefore, we see the fall in the energy level of the substances. Ultimately, the products will be formed. And in this reaction, the products are actually of a lower energy level than the reactants. Option A states that the energy released in forming bonds is labeled X. So energy released during bond formation is referring to the fall in energy level from the peak of the harm to the energy level of the reactants. Therefore, it should be Z instead of X. Option A can be eliminated. The energy released in breaking bonds is equal to Z. Bond breaking involves taking in energy or using up energy, not releasing energy. Releasing energy comes from bond formation, therefore option B can also be eliminated. The energy released in breaking bonds is less than the energy absorbed in forming bonds. This statement is in itself incorrect because again, there is no energy released in breaking bonds. Rather, energy is taken in during bond breaking, and there are also no energy absorbed in forming bonds because bond formation involves releasing the energy into the environment, not absorbing the energy. Option D states that the energy released in forming bonds is more than the energy absorbed in breaking bonds. The statement in itself is true, but let's see if it applies to the energy profile diagram above. The energy released in forming bonds is going to be the drop in energy level from the peak of the harm to the energy of the final products produced. So Z is the amount of energy that is released during bond formation. The energy absorbed during bond breaking is the amount of energy gained by the reactants to the peak of the harm. The height of this harm is the activation energy, which is also the energy that must be gained by the reactants in order to overcome the barrier of the activation energy and produce the products. Therefore, the energy absorbed is the height of this harm. It is the rise in the energy level of the reactants, which is Y. So comparing the height of Z to Y, it is true to say that the energy released, Z, is more than the energy absorbed, which is Y. Therefore, option D is correct.